All right, simplifying rational expressions. One of the things I noticed was a lot of kids are forgetting, thank you, GCF. All right, so always be careful. Factor out the GCF. All right, so key in number one, what am I doing? You can see it right there on the board.
Oh, there's a common 3y.
Good job. And then?
Y.
Good job. So now what?
Then the y minus 1 is 12, and then you just take the
You're left with what?
3y.
Perfect. All right, Ms. Fridelli, you're up. Tell me about question number 2.
So you do 3x and 3x, and then minus 2 and plus 2.
So far, so good.
And then on the bottom you do 3x and then 1 and 6.
Now, it's probably going to be a what, though? Remember, this is what I want you to think about. Look at the numerator. You see what I'm saying? We're using the numerator to help us with the denominator. So it's probably 3x what? It's either plus 2 or minus 2, right?
Yeah. But then how would that equal 7?
So if there's a 2 here, what would go on the other side?
A 3.
Right?
Okay. So minus 2
And,
plus 3.
okay, so now what?
So then the 3x minus 2 cancel.
So your final answer?
3x plus 2 over x plus 3.
You're awesome. Any questions or concerns? All right, Virginia, you're up. Tell me about number 3.
So you cancel and simplify it.
Yep. And? Good. Yes, good job. So tell me the answer. Is that it? Just look carefully. That's the main thing. Most of you know how to do it. You just make mistakes. Either you cross out too big, right? What'd you miss? Nope. Look even closer. Come on, come on, come on. Look carefully. Just look carefully. You'll see it. Look at the numerators. Don't tell her. Yeah, yeah. See what I'm saying, right? It's easy to make a mistake on the numbers. That's why I try to tell kids you should put the numbers first. All right? Put the numbers first. Dalton, what are you doing? Well, you have your own desk. Okay? All right, Leia, you're up. What? Is what? No, ma'am. Don't help her.
Oh, I'm wrong. I didn't know what it is.
Well, I'm not lying.
Okay, it's A.
Yes.
And in parentheses, A minus 4.
Good, good. Okay, and that's just a good point right there. You got to be careful. All right, next.
And then you leave the top, the 1 and 9.
Good.
And then A plus 3 cancels out, and A minus 4. And 2 A squared over A.
So what happens to the a squared? Come on, you got to be careful.
Okay, so it's 2a.
Right. Can I reduce anything else?
No.
No. Cannot reduce. Things are now bounded by addition and subtraction, so you cannot reduce. What?
Would you do a times a minus 1, so it would be a square?
I don't know what you mean.
So on the bottom, you have to do a times a minus 1.
No, because we reduced. There's an a squared.
Oh,
Right? All right. Next. Tyler.
you have to make it so reciprocal.
Reciprocal. Right.
The number is minus b.
Hold on a second. Now what do I do?
Use the 9.
Good.
The 3 comes to 1, and then comes to 3.
Now what?
And you can factor
Yes. What does that factor to?
b minus 3
And?
and b plus 3.
Good. So now what?
If you
Yep.
cross out,
What do we do?
you can cross out b minus 3 and 3 minus
But that becomes a what? Right.
negative 1.
Mm-hmm. Then,
B plus 3 over 3b.
yeah, see how this B right here is kind of hidden too? You're making mistakes. You got to remember, be careful, be careful. All right, that's why I like to isolate, or I like to simplify the numbers first. All right, so I don't make a mistake. Anybody have any questions with that one? All right, Carson, let's see how you're doing today.
We have to put the second bracket that goes on top.
Right?
And it's 9x over 8 times 16 over 9x squared.
Very, very good. So he squared them and did the reciprocal. Exactly correct.
And then the 9x cancels. And then it's an x on the bottom.
Right. So here we go. We're going to cross this whole thing out, cross this whole thing out, put an X at the bottom. Now what?
And the 8 becomes a 1. 16 becomes a 2.
So I end up with,
2 over x.
yes. All right, that's good. What?
I'm a little confused about how he did the 16 and 9x squared.
Because look right here. See this?
Squared.
What's 3?
And you switch it because that's right.
Good? What?
Oh, wait.
Good? All right, number 7.
It's not very challenging.
Very challenging for you.
It's 3d over 3e, but you can simplify that to just be over.
Wow, I'm impressed. Thank you. All right, next.
So, we do the 4a minus 2a. Oh, yeah, because
I haven't said anything. I'm asking you what to do.
okay, on the bottom, the a squared minus 4 equals a plus 2 and minus 2.
Do we have to do that, though, guys?
No, because it's the same.
Because it's already the same. You with me?
Yeah.
All right, it's not a big deal. If you factored it, would be perfectly fine, though, by the way. But I'm just going to leave it as a squared minus 4. So now what do I have to do? What do we have to be careful of here?
Minus 2, 4 minus 2.
Yep. But what do I want you to do? Put her hand down. She can do it. What do I?
Oh, you get a plus 8
Yes.
minus 2.
I just think this is a better thing to do. Change this to plus, minus, minus. And that way you don't make a mistake and forget that the 7 is actually a negative. You distribute the negative. All right, so go ahead. Finish it off now.
And
Say it again. I didn't hear the numerator.
2a minus 6.
Beautiful. Can anything reduce? What?
No.
Nothing can reduce. Now, Notice we could have said the top factors into 2 times a minus 3, and the bottom is a plus 2, a minus 2. But does that help at all? Doesn't help. All right, since it doesn't help, it's not necessary. So that can go away, and that can go away. Everybody okay with that? All right.
Oh, 2x.
Wait a minute.
Do the plus.
What's the common denominator?
Alright.
Oh, yes. What is it? Yes, it is. Thank you. 18. All right, now what do I multiply the first equation by? Yep, and the second equation by? Beautiful. So on your paper, I would actually like it to look like this. All right, simplify. What's the matter?
Oh, never mind.
Simplify, Isabel. I didn't hear you.
Sorry.
Yeah, you distribute. That's what that word's called. You distribute. Okay?
6x minus 2 and 3x.
What are we talking about here? We're distributing a what?
Positive 2.
Yeah, we did that. That was good. Now I'm going to distribute the.
Positive.
Why is it positive 3?
Oh, never mind. It's negative.
Why is it negative?
Because you do change the sign.
Yeah, there's a negative out in front. Please make yourself little notes if you're making little mistakes. That's generally what the problem is. Everybody knows how to add fractions, just not being careful with the details. All right, so distribute. What do you get?
Negative 3x.
Say it again. Slow.
3x plus 1.
Y plus 1.
Because the negatives make
Okay, and then maybe.
positive.
Yes, your parents tell you that a lot. All right. Here we go. Now, finish.
Okay. Then it becomes 3x
Good.
plus 1.
Brilliant. Yes. Can I reduce anything?
No.
Good job. All right. Very good. 3x plus 1 over 18. Now, again, remember, you're just being careful. All right, if you're not sure about something, now's the time to ask. All right, Catalina, please, number 10. What's the common denominator, first off? Yes, ma'am. So far, so good. Now what? Exactly right. So I would want you to just put 4k plus 2. All right, now simplify. Final answer. Beautiful. Good for you.
How do you find the common denominator?
Okay, let's talk about it. It's this easy. All right? This factors into k plus 3, k minus 3. Do you agree with that? So now listen to me. Here's how I tell kids. What is common, first of all? That's right. Then you take whatever else was left. And what else is left? You with me on this, right? Now, I want to go back to the 18 problem. Right back here, just so I can show you what I mean by that. All right, please look, because it's just a good review, even though some of you already got it. All right? 9 is 3 times 3, and 6 is what? 2 times 3. So what is common?
The 3,
The 3. And then what's left behind?
3, and 2. Oh, okay.
That's all there is to it. That's how simple it was. Even if you don't see it real quick, right? Could you have said it was 54? Could you have said the common denominator is 54? Yeah. You just would end up at the end, you'd have to do what? Reduce. You with me on this? Right? That's why we say it's the least common denominator. We're trying to find the smallest so it makes it easier for us. You good now? All right. Here we go. Yes.
Can I do this one?
No. Noel, you're up. What's common denominator? 24. Okay, now what do I multiply the first fraction by? Okay. Shh. By what? Wow. All right, look, I think that's the best way to do it. Anybody have any questions with how I set that up as a common denominator? All right, now distribute for me. Minus what?
A minus 4. And then you do like the minus thing. The plus minus.
Are you having trouble with negative 3 times 1?
Sorry, negative 3a.
Good. And then?
Minus 9.
And then?
Plus 4a plus 6.
All right. Now what?
And then you simplify it.
Very good.
3a. Minus 3. Minus 2. So 16 plus minus 4 minus 12. So minus. Oh, I forgot that. Okay, so.
Shh, don't tell her. She's getting her calculator out. Leave her alone.
So 16 minus 9 is 4. Oh, it's not there. Okay.
What was it?
It's not there. It's not there. Give her a second. Catalina, don't. She's struggling. It's fine.
Thank you very much. And the funny thing was everybody clapped. No questions. Shh. Hey, back. Now simplify. Now listen, the thing you have to remember now is here you're supposed to recognize that, hey, you're supposed to recognize that all the numbers are divisible by what?
3.
Okay? So you can't normally reduce. However, when you look at all the terms, they're all divisible by 3. So we would say that is, Noel, what's the final answer? Thank you. A plus 1 over 8. Okay, here we go.
Tough math.
Number 12. Emily. It's 2 over what? Yes, 2 over 1. All right. So now we need the common denominator, which in this case is just, hey, come on.
2m minus 3
That's exactly correct. Common denominator is 2m minus 3. Which means, do I have to do anything to the first fraction? No, we just leave it as. Then what do I multiply the second fraction by?
Sorry, 2.
That is correct. That's how I want you to kind of work those things right there. All right, now distribute for me.
And then we get 4m minus 4m minus, plus 6
Beautiful.
over 2m.
Final answer.
And then you can easy. Yeah. You combine that terms to cancel out, so it's 6 over 2m.
Perfect. 6 over 2m minus 3. All right, Dalton. Yes, you got a question?
Yeah. So why didn't you cross out the 2m minus 3's?
Okay, so look up here, guys. Somebody else asked me that question today, so I'm going to try to make sure you hear me. Listen, if I were to cross them out, that's just going back to here, and then I didn't. You see what I'm saying? So the first thing we do when we get a common denominator is you go through and get the common denominator, multiply the numerators together, combine terms, and then see what you have. All right? All right, Dalton, you're up.
So it's 2 over 1.
Good. So the common denominator is?
X minus 1.
So far, so good.
So then you have to do 2 times x minus 1
Good.
plus 3.
Perfect.
And then it would be 2x minus 2 plus 3
Good job so far.
over x minus 1.
All right.
And then negative 2 plus 3 equals 1.
So your answer is what?
2x over
2x what?
plus 1 over x minus 1.
All right. Anybody have any objections to that? Okay, read 14. All right. You got to be careful, please.
So
What's the common denominator?
X minus 1 x plus 1.
That's exactly correct. All right, so everybody take a look at that. Make sure you're good.
So you multiply the top of the first one by x minus 1. So it'd be
Good.
X,
Then, no, continue. Tell me what to multiply the next one by.
x plus 1,
And then what do I multiply the last one by?
x plus 1, x minus 1.
Very good. That's exactly what I want to hear. Now, I don't want to do all the work in my head. So after you say that, I would like for you just to write it out as now you gotta let me know if you have an issue with that. Anybody have any issue with that? Okay, go.
So then you reduce, so it would be x squared
Good.
minus 1x,
Good.
and then minus 2x minus 2.
Now remember, what's x plus 1 times x minus 1?
That's negative 1.
No.
No, wait.
Multiply them together.
X squared
The middle terms cancel.
minus, so x squared minus 1.
That is correct. So it's easier to multiply the x plus 1 times x minus 1 together. Now distribute the negative. Do you hear me?
Mhm.
So what do I get when I distribute that negative?
Negative x squared minus, no, plus 1. All over x minus 1, x plus 1.
Good. So now,
So now you would
yep.
combine, so it would be x squared. No. It would be.
What happens?
Oh, the x squared cancels.
Okay.
And then you get negative 3x minus 1
Over.
x plus 1 x minus
All right, guys. I just don't think it's that hard. Or it's really not. All right. If you're struggling a little bit, just go home tonight and redo the problems as much as you need to. Next. What am I doing?
Oh, yeah. So first, you get to put the x minus 1 on top, x plus 1 on the bottom.
Good. So we flip that.
And then back to this one. I'll back to the top one first. So
Good.
X, that's both x plus 1s.
Very good.
And the other one
Is.
I'm pretty sure it's both x minus 1.
Yep.
And then this x minus 1 here cancels one of those. And the x plus 1 cancels as well.
So your final answer.
And it's x plus 1 over x minus 1.
All right, again, guys, I really hope you're feeling good about it. Michael, 16. Back to easy.
It's well, it's 4x over 8.
And
But
then,
that can simplify, so it's 2x over 4,
which is
which is x over 2.
brilliant. X over 2. Any issues? All right. Next, Patrick.
So it's 12 and negative 4x over 12.
Yes.
Which then reduces down to
Bless you.
1 over 3 and negative 1 over 3.
Negative 1.
Or
What?
negative 1x over 3.
Am I good?
Could you change it to x over negative 3?
Of course. Right. Remember, we said 1/2. Negative can go on the top, on the bottom, or out in front. It all means the same. All right, Harrison, 18.
You change the signs.
Yeah, now look, again, change the signs. Plus, negative, negative.
Now it would be negative 3.
Over.
2.
Beautiful. Perfect. All right. Drew, tell me what's going on here.
So, back to the denominators. So, first one it's parentheses x's, and it's plus 3 plus 2.
Good.
And then the other one is x plus, no, x minus 2 and x minus 8, I think.
Good.
And then at the top, it's x minus 2 and x plus 2. And the other one is x. Oh, x minus 8 and plus 3.
Okay, now what?
And then cancel, right?
What?
So, plus 2, x plus 2, x minus 2, x minus 8, and x plus 3 is
That's not simple. Okay. Now look, guys, just tonight, I don't care how much you do, but what I do care is tomorrow we're going to finish up, and I care if you know what you're doing or not know what you're doing. And I don't think some of you guys. So you understand when I say that, right? If you go through this and you're like, wow, I did pretty good on that, right? Tomorrow we can finish it up. If you just made a bunch of careless mistakes, you just go over your careless mistakes and look at it. Those of you guys who want to make an A, my advice to you is to go just do the rest of the problems. All right? Do the rest of the problems for homework. All right, but we are going to do every single problem when? Tomorrow. We're going to finish it up tomorrow. Right? If you're like, man, I think this is pretty easy, right? But you also got to know where your grade is at. That's why I'm trying to tell some of you don't quite understand that, I don't think. If you're at a B and you want to make an A, you got to do the extra work to make the A. All right? Now look, I'm not sure how much time we have, but listen, you're going to be quiet. You're going to find something to do. Finish working. All right? Take care of it. All right? I don't want you messing around, boys. There's too much messing around. All right? I don't want you touching each other and hitting each other and grabbing lunch boxes and hiding things. We're not supposed to be doing that. All right? Again, we just have what? Pretty much 2 weeks of classes. That's it. All right? We have a test Wednesday and a test the next Wednesday. All right? So take care of business. Make sure you do a good job. The end.